Hello everyone. I decided to do problem number 34 for you. 35 was easy, and figured that I would just give you some more exposure to solving with reduced row echelon form. So this is 34, and we're starting off here with 3 equations and 3 unknowns, and we're going to use matrices to solve for the unknowns, which means we're going to start off by writing an augmented matrix with the coefficients along with the constants. So that's this first matrix you're seeing here right below the equations. Now the matrix right below that is after I've flip-flopped row 1 and row 2, and the reason why I did that is because our first goal of reduced row echelon form, or putting into that form, is to get a 1 in that upper left-hand corner position. After that, we're going to want to get zeros below, and then after we do that, we're going to want to make 1 in that position, and then we're going to make a 0 below it, and then after that we're going to make a 1 in this position, and that will give us the row echelon form, and then after that we will get the reduced row echelon form. So let's go ahead and get started on the next page. Darn it, it's not written. Okay, let's hope I don't have to start all over again. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try and get a 0 in this spot first. And so we're going to add row 1 and row 2 together. So I'm going to add row 1 and row 2, and I'm going to multiply row 1 by a -3. So that's going to give a -3, -6, a 9, and then a -36. We're going to add that to row 2, which is 3, 7, -11, and 44. Let's add straight down, and that gives us a 0, a 1, a -2, and an 8. So we're going to replace our new row with row 2. So we have a 1, 2, -3, 12, replace row 2 to give a 0, 1, -2, 8, and then we have a 4, 9, -13, and 53 in the bottom there. Now you guys, I'm not going to bother with my division line here for the official augmented matrix. I'll go ahead and just put that in the end. So let's go ahead and get a 0 right where this 4 is. And so we're going to add row 1 and row 3 together, multiplying row 1 by a -4. So we have a -4, -8, a 12, and then a -48. Alright, so from here we will have 4, 9, -13, and 53. We're going to add down, and we have a 0, a 1, and a -1, and a 5 there. So we're going to replace that with row 3. Oops. Alrighty. So those first 2 row operations were pretty good to us, because not only did we get the zeros, but we got a 1 out of it also. So kind of save some time. Alright. So let's go ahead and obtain a 0 in this spot where the 1 is located here in row 3, column 2. So we're going to add row 2 and row 3 together. And we're going to multiply row 3 by a negative, and so that's going to give us a 0, negative 1, 1, and negative 5. We have a 0, 1, negative 2, and 8 for row 2. Let's add straight down, and we have a 0, 0, negative 1, and positive 3 there. So we're going to replace our row 3 now. So we have a 0, 1, 2, negative 3, 12, a 0, 1, negative 2, and 8, and a 0, 0, negative 1, and 3. Now, that almost gave us a 1. We need to now manipulate this bottom equation, row 3, by just simply multiplying row 3 by a negative to get a 1 in this spot. So I'm just going to go ahead and show that right here. So here we're going to multiply row 3 by a negative, and that's going to give us a positive there and then a negative 3 there. So we're going to end up substituting in for a positive there and then a negative there with zeros in front. Alright, so after that, we're going to go for reduced row echelon form. Right now, because we have a 1 with zeros below, a 1 and a 0 below, and a 1, we have what's called row echelon form. We're going to go for the reduced row echelon form, which means that we're going to go for zeros and those positions there. So we're going to obtain zeros by first starting with row 2 and row 3. We're going to add those two rows together and eliminate the negative 2 there, the row 2 column 3 position. So let's add row 2 and row 3 together, and we're going to multiply row 3 by a positive 2. Alright, so we have a 0, 0, 2, negative 6, and then row 2 we have a 0, 1, negative 2, 8. So we add down, and we have a new row substitution which we can make. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some erasing here, and we will pull this matrix up to the top here, and let's go for zeros in these two spots here, and let's go ahead and add row 1 and row 3 together. So let's add row 1 and row 3. Alright, so we're going to multiply row 3 by a 3, and we have 0, 0, 3, and negative 9, and we have a 1, 2, negative 3, 12. We're going to add straight down. And I'm getting annoyed here because my family's talking. Hold on.
I know. It's not like...
Okay. I couldn't concentrate because they were talking with the door open in the other room. Okay. So I'm going to make a row substitution here. We have a 1, 2, 0, 3, a 0, 1, 0, 2, and then a 0, 0, 1, negative 3 there. And so what we have left is to eliminate this 2 here And so we're going to add, I didn't even need to do that. We're going to need to add row 1 to row 2. So let's multiply row 2 by a negative. And so we have a 1, 2, 0, 3, and then a 0, negative 2, 0, negative 4. We will now add straight down. We have a 1, 0, 0, negative 1, and that gives us our reduced row echelon form. Which means that we know x, y, and z. So this literally means that 1x is equal to a negative 1 and 1y is equal to a positive 2 and 1z is equal to a negative 3. Okay, so if you guys need more help, of course I can help you, but since you're already online, you might want to go over to the Khan Academy and type in reduced row echelon form, and I'm sure you'll find something that could possibly help you out. Well, that's a paradox. I'm sure you'll find something that will help you out. This is Mr. CHS Math signing off. See you guys later.